about some happy news? Camp Villages wraps up its 6th week, from disc golf to beach tennis. Week 6 of Camp Villages got campers both young and old up with a lineup of unusual sports and outdoor activities. Every summer, Camp Villages hosts a variety of activities to encourage intergenerational bonding and nurture children's interests, all in a safe, supervised environment. Sponsored by the Villages Recreational and Parks Department, Camp Villages offers monthly, summer, and holiday activities designed to provide fun for everyone from ages 3 to 103. This year's summer programs runs through August the 2nd and has a range of options for families to choose from, including sports, arts, crafts, scavenger hunts, and outdoor activities. Here's a rundown of some of the activities held during the 6th week of Camp Villages 2024. Putting practice. On Monday, teens and their grandparents met at Palmer Legends Country Club for a Just for Teens putting clinic hosted by Villages Golf Academy. The 90-minute session was held on the Himalayan putting green, named for its steep slopes. As a two-person team, what we're going to do is play a scramble-type format, said Wade Martin, a PGA golf professional and instructor at the Villages Golf Academy. A scramble is one of the most common formats of golf tournaments, involving a team of 4 players, each with their own ball. As Martin demonstrated, players can choose the best shot from the first stroke and use that as the mark for each player. He also gave a brief lesson on putting in general, showing the assembled crowd of would-be golfers how to putt, hold a putter, control the speed of a swing, and effectively maneuver the ball toward the hole. Easier said than done. After the introduction, the group broke to practice a bit, grandparent against grandchild. Like many present, Carol Conley, 15, was a first-time golfer. She was up against her grandfather, Pete Conley. He beat me, and then we tied, but I'm going to do better than him, Sarah said, gesturing to her grandfather with her club. Conley of the village of Dabney said he hadn't golfed for 8 years prior to the putting clinic, but now he's trying to get back into the swing of it. Larry Riednauer of the village of Liberty Park and his 15-year-old granddaughter, Isabel Montoya, were the ultimate victors. Unlike her grandfather, who is an avid golfer, Isabel is more familiar with volleyball courts. I wasn't sure I was going to win, she said. My grandpa said not to get my hopes up. Isabel said that while she didn't think golf would be pulling her away from high school volleyball anytime soon, it certainly was fun. It made her day. Her grandmother said she is going to take her to Cody's to celebrate, Rednauer said. Disc golf. The Villages Recreation and Parks Department set up several other activities for teens this week, including dragon boating. That'd be fun. Shoot air guns. That'd be fun. And disc golf. Don't know much about it. For the Just for Teens disc golf activity, residents and teens joined members of the Village's Chain Gang Disc Golf Club on Tuesday at the Hogeye Disc Golf Course to learn more about the sport. Beneath the shady canopy of oak trees, they practiced flinging disc into chain baskets. I had never heard of it before, said Cheryl Bedner of the village of Fernandina. Bedner played disc golf with her nephew, 13-year-old Henry Mills, and now that he is in a 13 to 16-year-old group, they can participate in activities they haven't done before. Henry never played disc golf, but was familiar with the game because of his father. He has a couple of frisbees and stuff. That's how I learned about it, she said. Beach tennis. Children from 10 to 16 years old flocked the Clarendon Recreation on Tuesday for a morning of fun in the sand as they learned how to play beach tennis with their grandparents. Beach tennis combines elements of tennis and volleyball. Preserving most of the rules and scoring to traditional tennis, beach tennis is played entirely with volleys and doesn't allow the ball to drop to the ground. It was a lot of fun, said Diane Germain of the village of Duval. I even got to play. Germaine never had played beach tennis and said she wasn't even sure what it was before attending Camp Villages. It was Germaine's granddaughter, 11-year-old Brianna, who chose beach tennis. Brianna, who typically does like playing in the sun or high temperatures, said she picked beach tennis because it was something different and not like any other regular old sport. It's really interesting, Brianna said. It's like tennis, but in the sand. You rotate to different nets, and you and your team have to be committed to win. Next up, the girls is platform tennis, which is similar to paddleball, but with tennis rackets. Kenley said next year she wants to try archery and golf. Remy and Kenley grew up playing softball. Remy said that both like learning how to play new sports. She thinks beach tennis is a mix of beach volleyball regular tennis, and pickleball, whereas Kenley thinks it is like playing pickleball because it is played with a paddle. I liked it a lot, Kenley said. I liked how the coaches were nice. And I liked it because I was playing with Remy. Next up, platform tennis, which is similar to paddleball, but with a tennis racket. Kenley said next year she wants to try archery and golf. Summertime celebrations continue in the villages during the annual Wildwood Arts and Crafts Show. Despite rising temperatures, residents from in and around the villages came out in droves to shop the combined farmers market and summer festival. Shoppers could be seen sporting wide-brimmed hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, bandanas, shorts and flip-flops in an attempt to beat the heat as they pursue one-of-a-kind arts and custom crafts available. Many of the various vendors at the festival were seasonal sellers, only coming to the villages during the summer months. Doug and Stephanie Gasher of Fossil Lamps are two such sellers. The South Floridian-based artisans have been selling their lamps at Brownwood Paddock Square since it first started holding the Arts and Crafts Show. This is all made out of fossilized coral that we get from licensed construction sites and in the Florida Keys. It all comes from the same 43-mile stretch from Key Largo south of Marathon. It's estimated that the festival brings in around 15,000 people to the squares each year, said Elizabeth Dashiell, spokeswoman for Howard Allen Events and American Craft Endeavors. Unlike some cottage industry festivals, the village's arts and crafts festivals only feature handmade and customizable items crafted by the vendor. Yeah, there you go for all you guys that like to go to those custom crafts. I know Sue does. Like snowflakes or fingerprints, no two golf courses are exactly the same. That's part of the game's charm. Some offer a subtle distinction, trees, water, bunkery, and acquired taste. Perhaps that golfers learn and embrace. Other layouts don't mind telling you right away, put the new Shallow Creek Golf Club in the latter category. Village's 14th Championship Golf Course, which greets the public Sunday after months of anticipation, proclaims different even before you turn into the parking lot. That's because you drive right past the Village's high school with two holes practically in the shadow of H.G. Morris Stadium at the range. The clubhouse architecture has a more modern feel. Rather than a traditional country club restaurant, a sports bar eventually will flank the golf shop. Shallow Creek also is just a couple of well-struck three woods away from downtown Middleton. It's no less the golf experience expected in the villages, just a little unique. I see a lot of activity, a lot of energy in this area, which is kind of fun, said Ken Rochevin, Executive Director of Golf Services with the village's Golf and Tennis. I think it's going to naturally create this buzz. Shallow Creek also plays near a 31-acre eagle preserve with other environmental areas sprinkled through to either charm or intimidate. Golfers also will find a double doglegs at a par 5, 13th, and good number of slightly elevated greens. It's going to give you all you want, Rochevin said, but I'm not going to be afraid to approach somebody coming off number 18 and ask if they had a good time. My guess is they're going to be smiling. For golfers in the village's southern expansion, just the fact that Shallow Creek is open should be a reason to smile. Since Southern Oaks Golf Club opened its doors November 2021, the area south of State Road 44 had not added another full-fledged course, even of the executive variety. The Richmond and Mickey Lee pitch and putts were next to join the menu of options, along with the Jubilee putting course adjacent to Mickey Lee. Once all that opened, the villages will have moved past the 800-hole threshold. For those keeping count, Shallow Creek raises the current total to 765. Construction delays at the clubhouse and cart barn pushed back the targeted spring opening, though the extra growing time certainly didn't hurt the course itself. Deadline for Veteran Affairs Annual Art Competition is nearing. For 4 years now, Mary Ellen Radloff has entered the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Annual Arts Competition. The U.S. Army veteran has found it to be a healing and educational experience as she goes through the process of thinking of a theme and putting together her piece each year. The North Florida South Georgian Veterans Health System is hosting its leg of the annual arts competition in conjunction with the National VA. It is accepting submissions in several categories: visual art, creative writing, music, drama, and dance through July 26. Submissions can be made in person, by mail, or by email. I highly encourage people to enter, said Radloff of the village of Lake Deaton. I really want other people to experience the same thing I did, from the process of making it to the friends made, and that experience if they do win. The summer heat index is rising to triple digits, meaning everyone should take extra precautions when engaging in any outdoor activity. Monday's heat index hit 110, which prompted a heat advisory to be issued for the entire state. Today's high is expected to be around 89 degrees with the heat index of around 100, and the remainder of the week is expected to be in the low 90s before spiking again with the heat index of about 106 expected Saturday. Seniors are one of the groups most at risk from extreme temperatures, along with children, pregnant women, those working outdoors, people with chronic health conditions, and athletes. Heat is one of the leading weather-related killers in the United States, resulting in over 1,000 fatalities each year, per the CDC, said Rose Giratana, Observations Program Leader and Meteorologist for the National Weather Service Tampa Bay area. The combination of hot weather and high humidity can quickly cause heat-related illnesses to set in. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, people over 65 years old and older are more susceptible to heat-related health problems because their bodies have a difficult time adjusting to sudden changes in temperature. That's why it is important to keep an eye on the temperature and take the necessary steps to avoid heat-related illness. This is true. Trust me. Ask me how I know. How hot is it? The National Weather Service classifies a heat index between 90 and 103 as extreme caution. The classification is danger when the heat index is between 103 and 124, which can cause heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke if exposure is prolonged. A heat index of 125 or higher is classified as extreme danger and poses a risk to everyone, with heat stroke very likely. Heat stroke is the most severe of the three, with symptoms including confusion, body temperature above 103 degrees, dizziness, nausea, and loss of consciousness. People experiencing heat stroke symptoms should seek immediate medical attention. Members of the village's track and field club train 3 times a week year-round to stay safe in the summer. We take regular water breaks, said head coach Rick Riddle of the village of Dunedin. The main thing with us sweating out here is that it can lead to heat stroke. It can come on really quickly, and you can be unaware of it. So staying hydrated is the safeguard against it. Pets feel the same heat as much as people do, and also are at risk for heat-related illness. To prevent risk to pets, owners are encouraged to never leave animals in parked cars, limit exercise on hot days, and provide ample shade and water. For more information on keeping pets safe from the heat, visit humanesociety.org. I saw on the news yesterday where some lady was being arrested for leaving a 2-month-old baby in a car with the windows up. People are just downright stupid. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. About 20 years ago, Janet Walden was watching her preteen daughter, Deanna Walden, participate in a baseball camp made specifically for hearing-impaired children. Tuesday, she watched her grandson participate in the same camp. Soaring Eagle Softball Complex hosted a group of deaf children, along with a few interpreters and coaches to teach them the fundamentals of baseball. Janet discovered the baseball camp years after Deanna lost her hearing. They spent a few years attending it until her daughter was too old to go back. Walden's grandson, Chevy Rednauer, whose father was born with a hearing problem, too started losing his hearing a year ago. After watching them both through the camp, Janet knows the event is about more than just developing a new crop of potential stars on the diamond. I thought it was so great for them. There's nearly nothing for deaf kids to participate in the village of Hacienda residents said of her first experience with the camp. They see other kids that are signing and are like them, so they don't feel different. They're just with other kids. Bob Pravo, president of the Sertoma Club at the villages and the village Hacienda resident, had been running the camp for almost 25 years. Tuesday's camp session, however, was the first since before COVID-19 pandemic. Before the pandemic, charter buses would bring children from Orlando to the villages for Sertoma's camp, sometimes hosting up to 50 children at a time. While Tuesday's crowd wasn't quite as big, Favreau hopes to rebuild it. He enlisted the help of some players from the village's recreational softball leagues to teach the kids how to throw, hit, and catch a baseball. There was one coach for every 2 or 3 kids, along with interpreters, to help the coaches and kids communicate. Pharaoh said the group tries to expose the children to baseball so they can go on to play at the Little League level and maybe beyond. When you have enough of them here, all of a sudden they make friends. They see other people are in the same situation, and they work together, Pharaoh said. It gives them a different attitude in life. Richard Madler, the village of Santo Domingo resident, was one of the village's softball players there to lend a hand, and it was an easy sell for him to attend since he had a personal connection to the cause, having an uncle and aunt who were deaf, and he was eager to share his knowledge of the sport. It feels great to be able to help. Even though we only have a few days with the kids, with some of them, you almost become a father figure. On the diamond, Levi Brandt joined his friends R.J. Scott and Colton Shivelbean for the camp. Brandt is hard of hearing, not completely deaf, but he still likes that the interpreters were around to help. You have a lot more communication, and for people who don't have a language at home, it's easier for them. So they actually have people to rely on and socialize with, Brandt said. While Levi already acclimated to life with reduced hearing, Chevy is still working on learning sign language because, according to his grandmother, his hearing will be gone probably within 5 years. Before he loses his hearing, his family is helping him learn how to sign, something he will be more exposed to while at the camp. Signing is a new me, Chevy said, and it also looks kind of cool. While Dina won't be participating in the camp anymore, the camp could still be around while her son adjusts to life without his hearing. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the lighter side of the news. Good people, good summer, good kids. See you on the next news. We're probably going to take about a week, maybe 2 weeks off. We're going to take a break. Got to take Scooter back to Indiana, taking the motor home, and I might just cruise around for just a little while. So I'll see you when we get back. So until then, be safe, be aware, take care, stay healthy.
I'll see you on the other side.